Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome to your next Android Studio kind of Gradle tutorial. This video we're going to talk about flavors. Now flavors are really cool. Flavors are some of the best things in the, or one of the best things in Gradle. So under our Android section, last time we did our debug, release and debug types, our build types. So now we're going to talk about flavors. So here's our situation. We've got an app and we want to release two variants of it. Okay, let's say we want to release a paid version and a free version. That's really cool. Okay, we want to have a paid version or free version, but the problem is we have to make two projects with two code bases, with sign them both the same with two different package names, and it ends up being a big spaghetti of problems. You have to copy and paste code. If let's say you want to make changes to a layout, you have to make sure you have to change them in both projects, and you're going to forget stuff, and it's going to be messy. So let's make our new flavor. We're going to make a paid flavor and release our free flavor of our app. So what we're going to do is, in order to make a flavor, you have to use product flavors under the Android section. So here's our product flavors. Nice. So let's define two flavors. So we're going to say free and paid. Okay, so now we have two flavors ready to go. So let's actually talk about how flavors affect things. So flavors are a little bit weird because a flavor contains code that's not in another flavor. I'll explain what this means is, if we go over to our package, our project on the left, we'll get rid of our build variant window for now. We've got our source folder. So under our module, we've got build and source, SRC. And inside the source folder, we've got our main, which is our Java and our res folders. Okay, so Java contains all our Java code and packages and whatever stuff we put in there. Our res contains our drawables and layouts and blah, blah, blah. Nice. So under this source folder, we're actually going to create two new folders. So we're going to create a new folder or a new directory, and we're going to call it free flavor. Okay, so now we've got our free flavor, and we're also going to create our paid flavor. Okay. So now we have three folders under our source directory: free, paid, and main. So essentially, we can now put extra code into our free flavor or our paid flavor, whatever we want. We can put whatever code we like in here. We can just shove it in, and it will override any code in our main. So this is a little bit confusing, okay? The main folder is now shared code between the two flavors. So what we can do is, we're going to create a new class, or actually we're going to create a new directory under each of these called Java. Under each of our flavors called Java, okay? New directory, we'll create another directory called Java. And under both of these we're going to create directories called res. And under our free flavor, we're going to create a directory called res. So we're replicating what's in our Java folder. So let's go back to our Gradle file. Now that we've set up our flavors, this free flavor will point at that free flavor folder. Okay? So let's go back to our build variants and we'll take a look here. So we need to sync our Gradle file first, actually, just to make sure it works. This just makes sure the Gradle file is configured correctly, blah blah blah, tells you any errors. Okay. So let's take a look at our build variant. As you can see, we've got some changes happened. We now have 4 variants of building we can do. We have free flavor debug, free flavor release, paid flavor debug, and paid flavor release. So what's this mean? Essentially, for every build variant we actually can build a flavor version of each. So we have 2 build variants, 2 product flavors gives us 4. You multiply the two. If you have 3 flavors and 2 build variants, you'd get 6 2 variants, 3 flavors, you get 6 variants. It's a little bit mental. But take a look at our project structure now that we've selected free flavor debug. We have a new Java folder and a new resources folder. This is mad. So under our Java folder, let's create our new package, and we're going to create this com.example .stuff, our Gradle stuff. Okay, and in here we're going to create a new class called constants. And under this constants, we're going to create a public static field. And we're going to call this flavor. And under the free flavor folder, we're going to create this equals this is a little bit confusing. Tell you what we'll do, we'll actually create an enum. Yeah, let's create an enum. And we'll just create, free, paid. No, that doesn't work. Yeah. Enum type. So type free paid, and then in here we're going to have our public static final field, our final type equals free. Oh. Oh, hang on, we have to say type.free. I'm a little rusty on the old enums. There we go. Finally, I've got it. Yay, I fixed it. So we've got our type. So that's our constants file. Okay, so that's for flavor 1, we've got a constants file with our main activity in here. So under our paid flavor, so we're going to switch our flavors now to paid flavor debug, and we're going to sync our Gradle files. Okay, so now that we've sunk our Gradle files, we've got our Java folder, so let's create a new. What the hell's going on? That should be blue. Anyway, we'll ignore that for now. We'll just copy this com folder, okay, across. So, as you can see now, we have 2 versions of our file. Now, this is getting a little bit mad here, so I'm just going to shrink this down. As you can see, we've got 2 versions of our file. We've got under our paid flavor. Oh, I've spelled flavor wrong. That's why it's not matching it. It's not able to find the folder. So if you just resync our Gradle file, it'll fix this. This paid flavor here has to match the folder name or it won't work. Okay, so our build variant was free flavor debug, so let's change that to paid. There we go. Now it's showing up as an actual Java folder. So now under our paid flavor constants file, we're going to set this to type.paid. Okay, so now we've got that. So we've got now two different constants files, and depending our constants.java files, and depending on which flavor we select in our build variants, allows us to choose which file is actually being used. So what we're going to do is in the main activity, we're going to just do a very simple little thing. We're going to say if constants dot type equals type.free, double equals we're going to log.i, our tag, just say tag, free version. And then else, so that means it's going to be the paid version. Paid version. So let's install our paid flavor. So we're going to set our build variants to paid flavor debug. We'll install it, take a look at the logs, and it should show up. Okay, so in the log cat, I'm just going to set a filter tag. So in the bottom of the log cat, it actually does say paid version. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's in the bottom right hand corner of my screen. See if I can decouple the window here. Yep, there we go. So as you can see, it says paid version. There, right there, tag paid version. So if we pull this down out of the way, and we switch this to our free flavor, and then rerun this, it should say free version. So bring up my logs, bring up my thing, and it says free version. So now we have a way of having two different versions of the same app sharing the same main code base, which is awesome. So now if we just move our logs off to the side, out of the way, just get rid of that nonsense for now. So that's really cool. But we've still got a big issue. Our flavor is fine. So we've two different versions, two different code base. Yeah, we've two code bases, main res. Let's say we want to change the file or the launcher icon. So let's do that. Let's create a new Android image asset, and we're going to pick our image asset to be whatever we want it to be. So I'll just create an image actually right now. Okay, so I just created two new versions of the launcher icon. So under our res folder, we're going to find our launcher icon. I believe it's under my videos. No, oh, it's under E. Videos, Android tutorials, pick assets. So this is our free flavor. So let's use our free icon. Okay, so there we go. Next. So our resource directory, we want to check our flavor, free flavor, res, create the folder files. Yep, so we've selected to go into our res folder, and that's more or less ready to go. IC launcher, free, ready there. So that's for our free flavor. Finish. So under our res folders, we now have our drawable files. So now for our paid flavor, we're going to create a new, we're going to switch our flavor over to paid flavor debug. Under res, we're going to create a new image asset, and we're going to select our paid flavor version of this asset. So we're going to go videos, tutorials, pick assets, paid. Next. So our flavor, we're going to pick our build type debug flavor for our paid flavor. Finish. So now under here we have all our paid flavor versions. So if you open up that, it says paid, the other one says free. Voila. We're ready to go. So now we have everything ready. So now if we install this app, if we install the paid flavor, our app icon should be changed to a paid icon. If we install the free flavor, it should be the free icon. So it's just written across it. So let's do that. Now we have to click install. And as you can see, our icon has changed to paid. So let's change our flavor to free. Run it again. And now we have a free version. Now this is very neat and all that. It's very cool. It allows you to have two copies of, two different variants of the same file, which allows you to, compile it differently, while your main folder contains all your shared code for everything. But this brings in a very interesting point. How can you install the two flavors at the same time? Because if you think about it, remember, Android, you can't install two versions or two apps with the same package name. They have to be unique. So what we can do with these flavors is we can actually tell the package name to be different. So if we change package name, and it's very similar to our package name suffix before in our release types, but we can change the package name to whatever we like. So let's go up to our package up here in our main activity to copy it. .free, and then we're going to run one for .paid. Okay, now let's run this. So let's run our free flavor. Okay, so now actually, oh god, I better start uninstalling some of these flavors. I'm actually going to uninstall all the Gradle stuff apps because it's getting a little mental in here because there's like 3 different versions of it. And we'll rerun that. So let's just rerun those, or rerun this. And as you can see, we have a free version with a free icon. So let's switch over to our paid flavor, run it again, and we should be able to install both versions of the app using the same code base twice. And as you can see, in our app drawer, we have a free version and a paid version. And there's nothing stopping us creating a res values folder under each flavor and changing the app name to free and paid. So you can actually have multiple res folders with multiple values inside of each, which allows us to choose that. So let's actually do that. So in our values we have our strings. So let's copy and paste the values folder over to res, and we can actually, because the code is shared, we can delete this dimens file. We don't need that. We don't need the styles. We only need strings. Let's get rid of all the excess strings except for Gradle stuff, and we're going to say Gradle stuff paid. So that's our app name. Let's move that new version of the folder into our res up here. Strings.xml, and we're going to create free. And then what we're going to do in our strings main, we're going to delete our app name resource. Now you don't have to delete the app name resource, but you can do it if you like. So now we've got our 2 flavors, paid and debug. So let's rerun our paid flavor. And our app name should now be Gradle Stuff Paid and Gradle Stuff Free. Because don't forget, when this is all ran at compile time, so Gradle Stuff Paid, switch our flavor, run it again. Okay. And Gradle Stuff Free. But voila. So how this actually works is very simple. The Gradle files, or not the Gradle files, the compilation stage combines this folder, so this Java and this folder together, and these res folders together. So all the resources in like the drawable folder, HDPI, get put into the drawable folder here. So these actually get mashed together, these 2 folders do. So this folder and that folder get mashed together hard. The res strings, all these strings here get added to all these strings here. So the strings all get added together, but you can have under here we can still have our app name, Gradle stuff, and it up here, and it won't make any odds to the system. The system doesn't care because there's a value there. So what it does is it compiles all our main classes together, then compiles all our flavors, and then smashes the 2 together into one big compiled set of code. So it allows you to separate out your code, and it's very cool and it's very neat. This allows you to set different variants, allows you to pick, it allows you to have, selectors say, if free, if paid. And we have 2 different versions of our app ready to go. And we can install 2 different versions at the same time. If we set up under our build.gradle, we should be able to, under flavors, set up 2 signing configs. So we can actually have our 2, or we can use the same signing config if we want for a release, which we can do here. So if we go to build variants, paid flavor release, build, generate signed APK, and it releases our signed APK version. And it's all done. So we can have 4 versions of the app: a debug version, a debug version, a release version, and a free flavor and a paid flavor, all sharing the same code in the same project. And that is why Gradle is so powerful. Now this Flavours is actually a fairly recent thing they added. I think it's like, only a month or two old, maybe even less. But the Flavours are super powerful tools, and it's well worth looking at the the link to the Android stuff. You can just Google the Gradle plugin user guide for Android. It's so cool looking up this kind of stuff because you can do some really powerful things. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed me, showing you how this kind of stuff works, and I'll see you again in the future.